Testing lang. Okay, recording. So, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Ma'am Michelle. Sorry kahapon, talagang struggle sa connection. So, ang report ko po ngayon is all about liberalism. Okay? Liberalism. Sabi nga daw dito nag-ugat pa to sa Western philosophy through ancient Greeks. And then may pahapyaw din na Eastern philosophy. Simula pa ng Song and Ming Dynasty. And then yung mga ideyang to, unang nakarating at napagsama-sama hanggang sa maging isang distinct ideology. Okay po. At may mga personality na nakilala rin dito, particular sila John Locke. Yun nga yung mga kilalang regard as a father of liberalism. Okay? So, sige. Ito ma'am, ang dami ma'am. Pero mabilisan na lang to ma'am ha. So, and then
Okay, sige.
sa outline po natin, meron tayong first chapter, may liberalism, human nature and freedom, followed by historical background, which is may medieval origins and Protestant Reformation. Sumunod ay liberalism revolution, liberalism and capitalism. Nandito din yung liberalism in 19th century. And then followed by how liberalism was being divided. And then liberalism in 20th century, the libertarian vision. And of course, the liberalism today. Yan. Conclusion. Next. Sabi dito, liberalism, human nature and freedom. Liberals acknowledge that people do have passions and desires, but they maintain that people also have the ability to reason, to control and direct their desires. Liberals generally agree that self-interest is primary motive for most people. Kumbaga, ito yung tinatawag na persang masa, yung tao mismo ang nasusunod. And then, oh yes, Ma'am Michelle, mahaba talaga pero mabilisan lang to. 1 hour lang tayo. Human beings are typically rational. Mahilig tayo, nag-iisip tayo, nangangatwiran, pero patas din naman. Self-interested and competitive. This implies that they are capable of living freely. Ganun tayo mag-isip. Yun ang pinagkaiba natin sa ibang species. Liberals want to promote the freedom not of particular group or class of a people, but each person as an individual. Particular na to sa mga welfare liberalism na matatakal din naman natin. Then, lastly, liberalism in short promotes individual liberty by trying to guarantee equal opportunity within tolerant society. And then, medieval origin. Medieval origin, the origins of liberalism na matitrace back na natin sa Europe kung saan nagsimula ito was an reaction against two of the characteristic featured in medieval society in Europe. Ito yung tinatawag na religious conformity and ascribed status. Yan. This reaction, which developed over the course of centuries, took different forms in different times and places. Ito yung tinatawag na religious conformity. Ito yung sapilitang pagsunod sa isang reliyon. The policy of requiring everyone in the society to follow, acknowledge, and the same religion beliefs. So, mahirap to kasi kumbaga one religion tayo. Nawawala yung karapatan nawawala yung freedom yung religion. At the same time, meron din tayong tinatawag na ascribed status. The persons being born into particular social status such as noble or serf with little opportunity either to raise or lower his or her social standing. So kung pinanganak kang mayaman, maharli ka, napakaliit ang tsansang mamulubi ka pa dahil sa katayuan nila sa estado nila. At ganun din kapag pinanganak kang alipin, mas napakalayo din ng pagkakataong umasenso ka. Yun, napakahirap. And then, ag- against this society rooted as ascribed status and religious conformity, liberalism emerged as a first distinctive political ideology. Mapa social man, economic, and cultural changes disturbed the medieval order. Pero more on religious conformity and ascribed status yung yung kapanahonan ng medieval. Yan. Many of these changes were directly related to the outburst of creativity, yung pagdating important in 15th century. Ito na yung tinatawag natin na Renaissance, yung the rebirth. Baga nandito na yung ma, ah, maalam na ang mga tao, magaling silang mag-isip, kung ano na ang mga na-invention nila, particular na sa larangan ng pangkaisipan. Yeah. Also, the pandemic Black Death expansion. Yung tinatawag natin na expansion na dahil sa pandemyang to, yung mga nakasurvive, sila yung na-retain na magpatuloy nito through trade and commerce, liberalism, exploration, all contributed to the decline of the medieval order and the rise of liberalism. And then, the most important was the advent of Protestant Reformation. Ito na yung pagdating na ng mga protestante. So, isang quick lang na timeline. Protestant Reformation, kung isang simpleng aklang ng pagtuligsa ni Martin Luther sa simbahang Katoliko na sinasabi niya nga na kapag sasamba ka, bakit kinakailangan pa ng religious entities, kailangan pa ng tinatawag ecclesiastical mediation, bakit hindi kailangan ng worshiper to God, indirekta. And then, sa pagdaan ng panahon, kinontra ito ng hari ng Inglaterra na si Henry VIII at binansagan si Henry VIII na defender of the Catholic faith. Ayan. Hanggang sa marami na ring nagsipag-aklas na sumuporta kay Luther na mga prinsipe. And then, nandiyan yung Anabaptist na naniniwala rin na hindi kailangan ng ecclesiastical mediation kapag sasamba ka. Tsaka yung tinatawag na yung indulhensya. Yung kung gusto mong maligtas, okay na yung mangumpisal pag siya may kasalanan mo. Pero yung kailangan po magbayad in a monetary ways, parang naman yun, sobra naman. Tapos, eto na, yung tumilig sa kay Martin Luther dahil sa kanyang sa pagkontra sa simbahang Katoliko na si King Henry, siya naman ngayon ang excommunicated ng simbahang Katoliko dahil sa kagustuhan lamang niya na pakasalan si Anne Boleyn. Gusto niyang i-divorce si Catherine of Aragon dahil hindi siya magkaanak doon. So syempre, divorce against doon ng simbahang Katoliko. Kumbaga, modern problems needs modern solution. Ginawa niya, gumawa siya ng sarili niyang simbahan para ma-divorce niya si Catherine. And then, nagkaroon ng kung ano na mga pangyayari, yung the act of supremacy, nandiyan yung ultimate sacrifice, na yung mga kumontra kay Henry, hanggang paglabas ni John Calvin, yan, tuloy-tuloy na yan. Protestant na ni-recognize naman ng Protestantism sa Scotland. And then France at war. Ito na yung pagpasok ng Edict of Nantes kung saan dito nga 'di ba kung babalikan natin sa mga unang slide pa lang na napakabigat ng yung tinatawag na religion conformity. Ito yung numero unong kalaban sa France that time. And syempre, the 30 years war na kinabilangan ng mga bansang Europeo, particular sa Germany, laban ng Katoliko at Protestante. And then, yun lang yung timeline na nangyari kung anong nangyari sa Protestant Reform. Sunod, England. Liberalism in England. After defeating the Spanish Armada in 1588, England entered the 17th century more secure and powerful than it had ever been. Queen Elizabeth I was on the throne, and William Shakespeare was writing plays. So, kontemporaryo pala silang dalawa. Then came contribution to literature by John Donne and John Milton. Ayan. Tapos, pasok naman yung philosophy ni Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, hanggang sa siyensya ni Isaac Newton. And then, yan, conflict came. Yung tinatawag na conflict came. The conflict of the English crown against the parliament, further fueled by religious, social, and economic elements. Well, kung talagang bibigyan natin ng diin dito, mas nangibabaw yung religious reason. Just like yung mga medieval era na religious conformity. Okay? Those loyal, yung mga loyal daw sa Church of England tended to support the king. Then while yung mga Puritans, yung mga umalis na mga Puritans, yun yung umanib naman sa parliament. Dito na nagkaroon ng conflict ang crown and the parliament. Siyempre, kung babalikan natin ng bagya, sa panahon na ni King Henry, naging Protestant na until mamatay si Queen Elizabeth, pinalitan naman siya ni James, isang hari na anak ni Mary ang Katoliko. So syempre, may threat sa simbahang Anglican dahil ang nanunungkulan ay Katoliko. At the same time, pen and ink played a great part as bullets and swords. Hindi lamang sa dahas pala lumaban. Katulad din sa atin, 'di ba, may mga expatriate naman tayong lumaban din through pen and ink. Nandiyan si John Locke, James Harrington, yung The Levelers, tsaka Thomas Hobbes. Okay. The American Revolution. Pagpasok ng mga American Revolution, the US, or also known as the US War of Independence, was the insurrection fought between 1775 to 1783, through which 13 of Great Britain's North American colonies through of British rule to establish the sovereign United States of America, founded with the Declaration of Independence 1776. Napakasimple lamang ng pinag-ugatan nito. Yung tinatawag na ito, no taxation without representation. Kumbaga, etong 13 states, hinayaan na to sa mga kolonista ng Britanya. Namumuhunan na, may nagnenegosyo. Ang inalmahan lang ng iba rito, ito nga, no taxation without representation. Kumbaga, nagbabayad sila ng buwis ng tamang yung panig nila o yung boss nila, hindi man lang napapakinggan ng parlamento. So, isa yan sa mga naging mitsa ng pag-aklas nila. Second, yan. And then, monarchy to be absolutely incompatible with individual liberty. O nga naman, di ba? Kung babalikan natin yung political absolutism, di ba? Political absolutism and monarchy, yan magkakambal. So walang panama ang diyan, individual liberty. Okay? And then syempre yung tinatawag na absolute autonomy from Great Britain. These were momentous years of the United States, of course. Kumbaga, dito na na-develop yung political ideologies. Sa mga sumunod na mga taon ng revolusyon, na tulad nangyari sa France, na napatunayan lamang na kaya nilang baguhin kung anong meron man silang kasulukuyang katayuan. So, isa sa mga kilalang kung sa Europe, kilala sila John Locke, Thomas Hobbes. Sa US naman, kilala naman si Harrington, James Harrington. Babasahin ko lang na isa sa mga pinagbasehan ng independence, ng Declaration of Independence yung sa libro niyang Common Sense. Kumbaga, ang sabi niya dito, society is always a blessing, but government Even the best government is necessary evil daw. It is evil because it coerces na dinidiktahan tayo ng gobyerno daw at kinokontrol ang ating buhay. Pero sa mga government policy, kinakailangan din naman talaga. But but it is necessary because most of us fallen creatures that we are cannot be trusted to respect the natural rights of the others. To protect our natural rights, then we create government. Ito na yun. If the government does its job, it deserves our obedience. But if it fails to protect our natural rights, it if it turns against us and violates our rights, the government ceases to be necessary evil and becomes an intolerable one. Kumbaga, yung necessary evil, kapag naging talamak ng gobyerno, hindi na talaga siya kailangang hayaan pa. Kumbaga, sa revolusyon nga natin dito sa atin, di ba? Tama na, sobra na, palitan na. Kung mababalikan natin yung people power. So, when this happens, the people have every right to overthrow their government and replace it with one that will respect the rights. Uh, dito na, French Revolution. So, the French Revolution in 1789, the people rose up and the government turned its back on the king. The goal was to change the system and get food back into citizens' mouth. The goal was to get rid of the monarchy and found a system powered by people. Ano-ano nga ba tong pinag-ugatan nila? So, ayan. Ulit. This event rooted from ancient regime o yung tinatawag na old order, religious conformity, aristocratic privilege, political absolutism. Okay. Yeah. Sabi dito, liberalism was not the only current of thought in the French Revolution. Meron ding republicanism with its emphasis on civic virtue also played a part. Liberty, equality, fraternity. The famous slogan of the revolution suggests how liberalism and republicanism were entwined as they had been in the American Revolution. Yeah. So, ito na yung tatlo na kinakatakutan na naman nila. Religious conformity, yung tinatawag na yung pulisiya ng simbahan na nire-require niya yung taong bayan na sumunod at kilalanin kung ano yung mismong relihiyon na gusto nila. Aristocratic privilege, ito yung nag-uugat to sa ascribed status na kung ano yung class mo nung ipinanganak ka, eto ka na. Wala ka ng pagkakataong makaalis dyan. Yan. Then, of course, nandiyan yung political absolutism. Any form of government in which the ruler or rulers has nearly complete power, unrestrained by law or other governing bodies. Kumbaga, imagine ang presidente natin, hawak niya executive, hawak niya judiciary, hawak niya rin legislative, di ba? Yan yung ganun nakakatakot ng political absolutism. Okay? So, liberalism and capitalism. Dito naman tayo sa usaping pang-ekonomiya naman patungkol sa liberalism. In the name of natural rights and the rights of man, liberals struggle for individual liberty against the social, political, and religious arrangement that lingered from the Middle Ages. Yan. Sa dito yung economic opportunity was particularly important to the merchants, bankers, and lawyers who made up middle class or bourgeois. Yan. But in early modern Europe, this avenue was blocked by numerous church and government-imposed restrictions. Kung ano na naman mga kautusan. In the 17th, 18th centuries, still other restrictions stemmed from the economic theory of mercantilism. Ito na yung mercantilismo. Kumbaga, isang uri ng monopolya na kung saan ang mother country kasama ang kanyang mga colony. Yung mga colony, pinagbabawal silang magpalitan ng produkto. For example, Great Britain, colony nila French Guiana, Australia, India. Yung mga colony, bawal magpalitan ng raw material na produkto. Lahat ng produkto nila dapat lamang dalhin sa Inglaterra. Ngayon, kung naisin man ng, for example, Australia, meron silang raw material, gustuhin man nilang gumawa ng isang produkto, wala silang magagawa kasi yung kailangan lang talagang magbenta at susuplayan lang sila ng mother country nila. So, ganun kasama ang merkantilismo. Yeah. Okay? Mercantilism. According to mercantilist theory, one country could improve its economic strength only at the expense of others. Yun. Ganun kasama. It attempted to promote the national interest directly through the use of restraints and monopolistic privileges. On the other hand, capitalism. Ito naman. Economic exchanges are essentially a private matter between persons pursuing profits. An economic system in which a major means production are privately owned and operated for the profit of owners or investor. Okay? So, sa mga pangyaring to, dito na lumabas yung mga French economic theorist kung tawagin. Naniniwala sila na ang lupa daw ay yung basehan ng yaman. At hindi kinakailangang restricted yung pagnenegosyo nila. Unrestricted competition kumbaga, yun ang kinakailangan. Sila yung mga tinatawag na physiocrats. Okay? Physiocrats. Nasusundan ba, Shell? Sige. Okay. Proceed tayo. Physiocrats. That the best way to promote the good of society as a whole is to let people pursue their private interest. Maintain the true basis of wealth is neither trade or manufacturers but agriculture. Kaya nga ang ini-impose talaga nila yung lupa nga daw. So, ano nga pala talaga sila, more on agricultural. Furthermore, they claim the best way to cultivate wealth is not through regulation and restriction, but through unrestrained and free enterprise. Isang malayang merkado. Yun ang gusto nilang mangyari. Sabi, doon nga sa French word na laissez-faire, laissez-passer. Yung let it be, leave it alone. Sinasabi na hayaan na lang. Tama naman talaga. Unregulated and unrestricted. Yun ang tunay na market na gusto nilang mangyari. According naman kay Adam Smith, na tinatawag natin the father of the modern economy, invisible hand. May sinasabi siyang invisible hand. A metaphor for unseen forces that move the free market economy. Kumbaga ito yung nag-uudyok, nagtutulak na ito. Gawin nyo lang to, let it be. Gawin nyo lang yan. Hinahayaan niya lang yan. Para matuto nang sa ganun, makabuelo sila ng kung anong ginagawa man nila. Particular sa pagnenegosyo. Okay? Proceed naman tayo sa panglimang part. Liberalism in the 20th century. Ay, 19th century rather. 19th century rather. As an ideology and in practice, liberalism became the preeminent reform movement in Europe during the 19th century. Its fortunes, however, varied with historical conditions in each country. The strength of the crown, the aristocracy, the pace of industrialization, and the circumstances of national unification. So, magkakaiba kung paano na-develop ang liberalism sa 19th century. Depende kung saan. For example, England, di ba? Kung anong meron. Russia, kung meron man. China. Hindi porket salitang liberalism may self-interest kagad ang tinutukoy, pero may magkakaiba pamamaraan tinahak nila. Okay. Europeans even welcomed Napoleon's conquest of their countries as liberation. Ito yung nung after na ng French Revolution, nagkaroon na ng bagong government, hanggang pumasok na si Napoleon, nakita ng mga tao na kaya pala natin. Yeah. Kumbaga nga, idagdagan kumbaga nga yung tricolor na konsepto ng flag ng France pertaining to liberty, equality, and fraternity, inadapt din yan ng mga iba't ibang bansa na for example, Belgium, yan, Netherlands, Italy. Kung makakakita kayo mga flags na may tatlong color, kahit anong color yan, yung inadapt nila yung sistema pagka-liberate ng kanilang bansa. Dun yan inadapt nila sa France. Naman yung pagbagsak naman ni Napoleon. Ito yung isa sa naging dahilan ng pag-emerge uli ng monarchy at aristocracy. So bumalik na naman sa dati. Ito yung iniisip ng mga conservative na ba't kailangan magpalit? Ayan na lang may dumating uli. Babalik din naman yun eh. So ganito na yung nangyari. And then, sa England naman, kasalukuyan nangyari na may Industrial Revolution. Yan. In economic status and in political power too, the working class fell far behind the middle class in the first half of 19th century. May trabaho na sila, sikat na sila, namumuhunan na sila, pero hindi sila masaya. Bakit kaya? So, yun ang tumutukoy dun. Hindi nila malaman kung anong kulang. Kung anong kulang. So, diyan na pumasok yung rise of political radicals na kung tawagin utilitarians. Yeah. Utilitarianism. In the late 18th and early 19th century, such as Bentham, James Mill, yan. Tsaka yung anak naman niya si John Stuart. John Stuart Mill applied classical economic principles of political sphere, invoking the doctrine of utilitarianism. The belief that something has a value when it's useful or promotes happiness. They argue that the object of all legislation should be greatest happiness. Sa tinatawag during 19th century, nananatili pa rin na revolutionary force ang liberalism. Yeah. It widely affected tong liberal movement na to widely affected the Roman Church, yan, particular sa France, Italy, and Spain. Sinasabi okay, proceed na. Utilitarians, ito yung naniniwala sila na kung anong makakapagpasaya sa lahat, yun dapat ang ini-impose ng gobyerno. Kung anong masaya, kung anong nagdudulot ng kaluwalhatian sa kanila, dapat ito yung pinapanigan ng gobyerno. Ito yung binibigay nila. Yung tinutukoy na utility. For example, sa atin, anong common sa atin dito sa ginagawa natin? Connection. So, as long as na binibigyan tayo ng gobyerno ng connection or free connection, internet connection rather, mas masaya tayo. Ganun tayo. And then, yan, liberalism divided. Hindi nagsisync yung liberalism divided. Yan. The division among liberals stemmed from their different reactions to the social effects of industrial revolution. Some liberals began to argue the government should rescue people from poverty, ignorance, and illness. Dito na nagkakaiba-iba. Dito na nagkaiba ng pananaw. Yung mga neoclassical, naniniwala sila na hayaan lang natin yung taong bayan. Gumawa sila ng nung kung anong makakapagpasaya sa kanila without any restriction from the government. Naniniwala naman ng mga welfare liberalist, kung hayaan lang, paano to? Paano kung for example, kahirapan, 'di ba? Hindi ka nga nakakulong, kung saan sang-ayon ng neoclassical, 'di ka nga nakatali, wala kang kaso, pero mahirap ka naman, wala kang edukasyon o much worse, may sakit ka. So, ang tinatawag dito yung tinatawag na negative freedom at positive freedom. Negative freedom, ito yung kalayaan natin sa anumang mga krimen, 'yan. Paano naman yung welfare liberalism? Welfare ng isang human being. Per se may sakit ka, hindi porket malaya ka, pero 'pag nagkasakit ka, ikaw lang bahala sa sarili mo. Kaya diyan pumapasok na kailangan din ng gobyerno, yung sinasabi nga rito na necessary evil, okey? Ito sila. Then, ito naman yung what is neoclassical? Neoclassical liberalism, they consisted argue that government should be as may pumasok lang. Sige. Good afternoon, Ma'am Mabinis. Wala. Sige, continue. Neoclassical liberalism. Yeah, they consistently argue that government should be as small as possible in order to leave room for the exercise of individual freedom. The state or government should be nothing more than a night watch. May classmate ka na. Okay. The state or government should be nothing more than night watchman. Security ka lang, nagbabantay ka lang. Whose only legitimate business to protect the person and property of individuals against force. Wala kang ibang gagawin. Yan paniniwala ng mga neoclassical. Magbantay ka lang, tingin-tingin ka lang. Sa mga argumento nila ng neoclassical liberalism, consistently argue that government should be as small as possible order to leave the room. Ayan, naulit lang. All their arguments was based off natural rights, utilitarian views, and by natural selection. So, pag sinasabing natin natural selection, ito na yung walang ibang papasok dito. Nature, survival of the fittest. Yan. Yung the social Darwinism view naman, na kung saan, 'di ba, alam naman natin sa mga species, kung sino lang may kakayahang mag-adapt, nagso-survive. So, kung iisipin mo, ganyan ang pananaw ng tao, porket hindi mo kaya makipagsabayan, oh, ano naman mangyari sa'yo, 'di ba? Sa bigyan natin ng social Darwinism. Social Darwin, a group of neoclassical liberals of the late 19th and early 20th century, okay, 20th century, who adopted Darwin's theory of evolution to social and political life. Yan. Concluding that the struggle for survival between individuals is a natural feature of human life, and government should not be intervened. Yan. So dito naman tayo sa yung kanina, kung meron tayong classical doon, neoclassical, meron naman tayong welfare liberalism. Yan. Welfare liberalism. Like classical and neoclassical liberals, reformist or welfare liberals believe in the value of individual liberty. But welfare liberals maintain that government is not just necessary evil. Kung ang mga classical, sinasabi nila na necessary evil daw, sa pagdating naman sa mga welfare liberals is not just a necessary evil. On the contrary, properly directed, government can be a positive force. Ito na yung kanina na kung ang gobyerno may mabuting ginagawa sa tao, ito na yun sa parte naman ng welfare liberalism. Promoting individual liberty by ensuring that everyone enjoys an equal opportunity of life. Kaya nga 'di ba tayo meron na tayong mga ano, 'pag nag-apply ka ng trabaho hindi lang basta-basta sahod, ikasasaya mo, kailangan may benefits. Pasalamat tayo sa mga welfare liberalist na 'to nung mga ano, panahon. Kasi kung mga wala 'to hindi nila 'to naisip na gan'to malamang isang ordinaryo lang tayong nagtatrabaho. Kapag nagkasakit, okey palitan, walang assurance. Ah, Sabi dito, to overcome this new obstacle, it was necessary to enlist the power of the state. Mga ginagawan nga ng mga batas, 'di ba, ng gobyerno. Society, acting through government, should establish public school, hospital, aid the needy, and regulate working conditions to promote workers' health and well-being. An active government as a useful, even necessary tool in ang campaign to expand individual liberty. Tsaka tanungan, "Ma'am, excuse me ma'am. Ma'am, kasi na-set ko lang 'to ng hanggang 6. Ano 'to kahit 'pag tumuloy tayo hindi naman 'to maka-cut, hindi tayo ma-e-exit?"
Paano yun, Garvin? Anong 6?
Hanggang 6 PM lang.
Ay, may
Ay
nakaset
hanggang
up na?
7 ata?
Hindi ko naman ika-cut. Sige, tapusin mo lang.
Sige, sige. Sige ma'am. Hindi
Okay.
na ano napaisip lang ako bigla, parang 6 ko lang 'to na ano na-set o 7 nakalimutan ko. Sige, sige,
Continue lang.
continue. Sige pa. Sige, okey. Tapos na sa welfare 'no. So, ikaw Ma'am Michelle, para sa'yo, saan ka mas panig? Ikaw Ma'am Mabines, welfare liberalism o neoclassical? Bigay naman kayo ng inyong thoughts kung ano bang mas ano ngayon sa atin ngayon or in your own bago tayo mag-proceed. Sige, take your time and then proceed na rin ako. Ito naman yung tinatawag na liberalism in 20th century. So, medyo makabago na 'to. Another factor also contributed to the dominance of welfare over neoclassical liberalism, yun. Dahil nga mas pinanghawakan ng mga welfare liberalist yung kalagayan ng ano, isang individual kumpara sa kalayaan ng tinatawag ng mga neoclassical. Mas na-dominate nila ang liberalism pagdating sa 20th century. By the beginning of the 1900s, capitalist competition looked quite different from what it had been century before. Mga dati basta-basta lang namumuhunan. Ngayon may mga ini-impose na rin silang mga batas or policy patungkol sa mga ano nila, negosyo, sa mga empleyado nila. Yeah. Thanks to the welfare liberalist. Then, later waves of modern liberal thought and struggle were strongly influenced by the need to expand civil rights. Liberals have advocated for gender equality, marriage, marriage equality, and racial equality, and a global social movement for civil rights in 20th century achieved several objectives towards those goals. Kumbaga, tinutukoy din ito sa liberalism 20th century, yung modern liberal philosophy na kung saan ini-endorse nila yung kailangan mamuhunan ng gobyerno. Edukasyon, 'di ba, yung mga kalimitan makikita natin 'pag may rally, edukasyon, healthcare, mga gano'n. Isa sa mga mahalagang issue dito nung first part ng 21st century, etong mga ka contemporary na natin na panahon include economic inequality, 'yan. 'Yan yung isa sa pinaglalaban ng mga welfare liberalist. Voting rights, of course. especially sa mga minority. Tulad sa atin, mga lumad, nakakaboto ba sila? Yung plebisito ng pagboto sa kababaihan. Affirmative action, reproductive and other women's right support. Of course, nandiyan yung LGBTQ+, correct me if I'm wrong, rights and immigration reform. Na hindi lang basta-basta napapalabas ng bansa. Kailangan may due process. Ito na yung mga kung dati kahirapan o kaya balikan natin, kung dati pinaglalaban ng liberalismo against sa simbahan, kalayaan sa relihiyon, kalayaan sa estado sa buhay, hanggang sa paglipas ng panahon nakarating na sila rito, kung ano yung nakakapagpasaya sa tao. And then eto na yung pang-individual na mismo, edukasyon, healthcare, di ba? So, okay. Ito na yung pagpasok naman ng libertarian vision. Ano nga ba to? Libertarian. They seek to maximize political freedom and autonomy. Mukhang may kabigatan naman to. Political freedom, tapos autonomy. Emphasizing individualism, freedom of choice, and voluntary association. Libertarians share the skepticism of authority and state power, but they diverge on the scope of their opposition to existing economic and political power. Yan. Sa pananaw nila, kung ang government daw is necessary to secure an orderly society, but it should be a government that does little. May order nga sa buong society pero minimal lang. Nasa tao pa rin ang control. And do nothing more than protect people against threats to their property and safety. Tong mga libertarian na to, may faction din na kilala kung tawagin sila ay libertarian anarchism. Yan. 'Di ba kung babalikan natin yung kung ano nga ba daw yung anarchist, yung ayaw nila sa gobyerno. Tatanggalin nila totally anarchism. In many respects, libertarian anarchism is simply most extreme extension of liberalism. Private regulation. Yan ang talagang bungad ng mga libertarian. Tsaka they also argue that manipulated markets are not the free and competitive ones that they champion. So kumukontra to sa sinasabi ni John Adams na visible hand at invisible hand, na kailangan ng at least may regulation ng gobyerno. Pagdating sa kanila, total walang gobyerno, sila-sila lang. Then pasok naman tayo sa tinatawag na liberalism today, division and differences. Liberals espouse a wide array of views depending on their understanding of these principles, but they generally support free markets, free trade, limited government, individual rights including civil rights and human rights. Tsaka yung tinatawag na kapitalismo, demokrasya, secularism, gender equality, racial equality, internationalism, freedom of speech, and freedom of the press, and freedom of religion. Ngayon, na trace na natin kung paano nagsimula ang liberalismo from medieval times hanggang nakarating na tayo rito sa 21st century. So ano kaya ang masasabi natin kung anong kasalukuyan nating kondisyon patungkol sa liberalismo, particular dito sa ating bansa? May tatlong may tatlong points na titignan tayo para malaman natin kung ano nga ba ang mga pagbabago. Okay? First point, First point, liberalism is no longer the revolutionary force it once was, at least not in the West. Kumbaga kung dati kapag sinabing liberalism movement, laging may war, laging may conflict. Pero sa panahon natin ngayon, hindi na nga raw, hindi na siya revolutionary force. At least not in the West, of course. Kasi until now may rebellism movement pa rin na nangyari, particular sa Iran, Northern Africa, 'yan, India, patungkol sa mga minorities. Kumbaga very minimal na nung makita natin na may mga liberalist movement pa rin. Second point, liberals remain divided among themselves. Siyempre, bagamat may pagkakaiba sa pinaniniwalaan nila, particular sa individual freedom, pero may pa rin, kahit papaano may bahagyang pagkakaiba. Kung babalikan nga natin 'di ba, neoclassical, meron tayong tinatawag na welfare, tapos may mga dumating pang mga libertarians, 'di ba? Kanya-kanya lang 'yan. As much as possible, nagkakasundo sila sa individual freedom. Okay? The third point is liberals are now wrestling with a set of very difficult problems that stem from their basic commitments to individual liberty and property, ay equality of opportunity. Bagamat kung anong yung mga point of view nila na pinaglalaban nila, nahihirapan din sila. Kasi nagsasanga-sanga na, nagkakaroon na ng nagkakaroon na ng panibagong problema, Kaya nga 'di ba ang batas natin, walang batas na ginagawa na hindi siya puwedeng i-amend, mabago, kasi nga habang lumilipas ang panahon, paiba-iba rin nangyari partikular sa krimen. So, for example dito, papaano mo nga ba talaga i-exercise ang isang tao, ng isang individual ang freedom? Kalimitan sa mga liberals, particular sa welfare and neoclassical, naniniwala sila na yung kay James Mill na harm principle na tinatawag na kung ano yung nakakapagpasaya sa'yo bilang individual, okay yun. Kung ano yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng sakit, yun ang ayaw nila. Pero ang katanungan diyan, sa panahon na ngayon, kunyari bigyan natin ng posisyon na tinatawag na victimless crime. Mga prinsipyo na, for example, prostitution, 'yan. Yung prostitute, uupahan ng isang tao. Magbabayad yung tao sa prostitute sa kanyang serbisyo. Win-win situation kumbaga. Kumita yung babae, nagkaroon naman ng pleasure yung lalaki. Pero tama ba 'to? Masasabi bang kasi wala naman nasaktan, Kung titignan natin yung point of view ni James Mill, sa harm principle, freedom bang matatawag 'to? Oh, 'di ba? Kaya talagang habang lumilipas ang panahon, nagkakaroon din talaga ng mga pagbabago sa mga pananaw. Sa conclusion, liberalism as an ideology. In the light of liberalism's long history and scarcely surprising the differences and discontinuous have developed over time, but the oft-noted and alleged break, yung biglang paghiwalay nila between old or classical liberalism and modern welfare liberalism might not have been such radical rupture. Kumbaga, yung paniniwala nila, hindi lang basta-basta ganun naghiwalay. Sa isipin nyo lang, medieval era hanggang ngayon, di ba? Habang tumatagal, mas nare-realize nila na hindi lang basta liberalism pala ang dapat. May certain point ng liberalism. Yun ang tamang dapat na pinaglalaban. Sabi nga ni John Locke na patungkol naman sa law of nature niya requires that we not only preserve ourselves but also that we preserve the rest of mankind. Sabi naman ni John Smith na sinasabi niya na yung ginagawa natin hindi lamang to dahil sa self-interest. Kailangan may moral. Tama ba tong ginagawa mo? Hindi porket gusto mo, gagawin mo na. Ito yung tinatawag na moral sentiments. Compassion. Yan. Naniniwala din siya sa, kung babalikan natin yung sa capitalism or rather sa economic, liberalism and economic na invisible hand. Kinakailangan ng visible hand. Kumbaga, yung free market nga daw, kapag hindi na tumakbo, kailangan na ng gobyerno na siyang mag-i-impose ng mga batas. So, meron tayong apat na function pagdating naman sa ideology patungkol sa liberalism. Yan, tinatawag natin na explanation. First, all ideologies purport to explain why things are the way they are, with particular attention to social, economic, and political condition. For liberals, these explanations are typical individualistic. Katulad lang din ng mga pinaglalaban nung unang panahon, nakasentro lang sa pansarili, sa individual. Evaluation. Evaluation. When it comes to evaluating condition, liberalism again turn to individual. Conditions are good as a rule. If the individual is free to do as he or she wishes without harming or violating the rights of the others. The more freedom people have, sabi nga daw ng mga liberals, mas okay. Pero kapag less ang freedom, masama. Ang kalayaan dapat ay ini-enjoy ng pantay-pantay. Hindi porket mayaman ka, walang privilege system yung tinatawag. Unlike nung before nga, di ba? May mga ascribed status tayo. Nakakakuha ng mas mataas na pribilehiyo. Yun nga daw yung liberal view na yun ng freedom requires individual those an equal opportunity to success. Then, sunod natin yung orientation. Yan. Political ideologies also provide people with some sense of identity, orientation. Yung, kumbaga, belongingness mo to. Kung saan ka kaanib. Saan ka napapabilang. Of those they are and where and how they fit into a great scheme of things. Liberalism features people as rational individual who have interest to pursue, choice to make. Sabi nga na liberals those direct our attention to characteristic that they believe all people share. Not toward the differences, hindi sa kung anong pagkakaiba na naghihiwalay sa atin. And lastly, tinatawag natin na program. As regards to programmatic functions, liberal espouse programs for promoting individual liberty and opportunity. Kung babalikan natin ang history, ang ibig sabihin dito yung liberals have opposed. Ano ba yung mga programa? Sa ngayon, mga batas. May mga non-government organization. Pero kung babalikan natin yung history, ano ba yung mga kinontra nila? Ng particular na dyan, yung religious conformity, syempre, ascribed status, yung political absolutism, economic privileges, tsaka yung tyranny of majority na tinatawag na tumutukoy ito dun sa kagustuhan ng mga utilitarianism. Balikan lang natin na kalimutan ko lang na kung ano nakakapagpasaya sa'yo, syempre, yun dapat ang ginagawa ng gobyerno. Kung babalikan natin sa ostracism, sa ancient Greece, di ba? Masaya yung ibang tao, masaya yung nakakarami, na-exile ka. So, hindi yung tunay na kalayaan, hindi yung tunay na liberalismo pagdating sa modernong panahon. Isa sa mga nakakatakot yun, yung tyranny of majority. Yung imbes na gobyerno mag-impose ng regulation ng batas, ang masusunod yung taong bayan. Yan. Liberalism and the democratic ideal. At the outset of the 21st century, liberals are firmly committed to democracy, but that has not always been a case. Throughout most of its history, in fact, liberalism has been more concerned with protecting people from their rulers than with establishing rule by the people. Kung babalikan natin ulit yung history, di ba? Puro sila pag-aklas, kontra. Pero ang pinaglalaban nila yung individual rights. Puro pagkatao lang. Never nilang naisip na palitan ng gobyerno. Gusto nilang kumalat sa gobyerno. Pero napaka-minimal sa history na nagtatag sila ng gobyerno. Maliban na lang dun sa French Revolution, yan. Tsaka yung sa American Revolution na nagtatag sila. Okay? So, sinasabi dito, this liberal tendency did not lead in an openly democratic direction until 1800s, when Bentham and the utilitarians began to argue that democracy gave every citizen the chance to protect his or later her interest. Liberals favor democracy because it enables citizens to hold their government accountable, thereby protecting their personal interest. Liberal democracy emphasizes the importance of individual rights and liberty. Everyone is supposed to be free to participate in public life, but the primary concern is to protect people from undue interference in their private affairs. Yeah. So, at liberalism daw also display that several democratic tendencies, the most notable of being yung tinatawag natin na premise of basic equality among human beings. Yan ang pangunahin talagang pinaglalaban pagdating ng sa liberalism. Pagdating naman sa liberal democracy, in short, democracy is defined mainly in terms of individual rights to be free from outside interference, to do as he or she thinks best. Okay? We are done now.
Okay. So, may question ba si Michelle?
Any question? Para may sense man lamang yung pag-aral. Nare-record pa ba? Ayun, sige. Ma'am, pare-pareho lang pala to no, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Alin yung parehas?
Yung ano, 'di ba yung nakaraan meron din tayo explanation, evaluation.
Oo. Sabi ko
Orientation.
niya naka-pattern talaga kasi paulit-ulit siyang lalabas dun sa sa lahat ng
kada may talaga silang may ganyan.
Kasi yung sinaserve nila as function yung 4. Bawat isa meron. So ganito, ayan 'di ba sabi ko naging equivalent na yan dun sa inyong exam, yung presentation. Okay, so your grade, Garvin, is 95 para dun sa final exam. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wala nang question si Michelle.
Question po si si Ma'am Habines.
Hey, Garvin, na lang pagka-record, send mo sa akin sa Google, yung link ng Google Drive. Gusto ko na lang mag-upload sa YouTube.
Sige po.
And sige then, po. Yung PowerPoint presentation, pwede student contributor kayo dun, kaya makapag-upload kayo dun.
Sige po. Yeah. Sige, nga pala, co-contributor. Pwede. Ginawa ko na yan kay Sir Francis dati.
Kaya pwede i-post para makita nung hindi naka-attend.
Sige. Ay ma'am, tanong ko lang po yung about sa Isa-isang subject natin.
Ano?
Kasi 'di ba hindi ako nakaano noon. Ano yung by grupo?
Oo, kayo na lang magsulat ng group notes mo.
Tapos ganito rin ang magiging setup, reporting.
Pero hindi lahat makakapag-present kaya sa deadline na ibibigay ko na exam week natin. Gagawa na lang ako siguro sa Facebook. Titingnan ko kung mas madali maka-upload.
Okay.
Parang live
Tas
stream,
gagawa pa rin ng
StreamYard
PowerPoint.
siguro.
Pwede. Bagay.
Sa mag-cash.
Sige.
Ayan. Sige, pwede na stop yung recording natin.
Sige. Okay. Stop ko na yung recording, ma'am.
Oo.